Here come the Capitals.
He's in alone. A shot. And go!
Bondra gets number 5.
Alexander Ovechkin.
The Capitals are champions.
In 1998, we had Dale Hunter as our captain, and Ole Kolzig went into net. And we had Bondra, and we had Adam Oates, and we had Chris Simon, and we had Sergei Gonchar, Brendan Witt, Kelly Drenson. The list goes on and on.
David Poyle, the previous manager, did a good job with the team. I was named the manager, and then I hired Ron, and I thought we just rearranged the furniture. It didn't need a major overhaul.
We added a few pieces right at the deadline, a few guys that kind of gave us a little bit of veteran, a little bit of different look with our team, and that's how you make long runs.
We got Esa Tikkanen on the team. He had won, 5 cups at that time? Smart move by George, getting him.
One of the smart things that we did was to hire a goalie coach who did a terrific job with Ole Kolzig.
So when I came in like 97, the Stanley Cup Finals was probably the furthest thing from my mind. I was establishing myself as finally a #1 guy in the NHL, and part of me was like, don't let this bubble burst, don't let this bubble burst, don't let this bubble burst.
Here's Bure in. Bure stopped by Kolzig.
All of a sudden, we became good enough to compete with the best in the NHL.
When the playoffs started, we ended up finishing ahead of Boston, and so we hosted the first round in our building.
The Washington Capitals, Boston Bruins, Game 1.
You go in the playoffs, usually you don't win easy games.
Backdoor, holds a super stop.
I was a young guy playing with Nico Lishin, Peter Bondra, scoring goals. I was like, wow, this is awesome.
Feeding it through, Sednik scores!
We split, the first 2 games. Now it's 1-1 and we go to Boston. When you start at home and you split the first 2 games, the pressure is on you.
We were in overtime, Tim Taylor, backdoor tap-in goal, right? And I just beeline it for the dressing room. I'm pissed off, and I'm like, oh, here we go. We're gonna blow this series. I think it was our PR guy at the time came in and said, what are you doing? What are you doing? Get your gear back on. They're reviewing it. I mean, what is there to review? The guy tap in back. He goes, his toe was in the crease.
For whatever reason, it just felt kind of different from other playoff series. Like, we got a couple calls that worked our way. It just felt like, man, we never get these bounces. Like, this is great.
Here's Bellows. Bork.
Oatsy ended up getting the puck and hitting me in front of the net.
Bellows goes down, out in front. Score! Shuey Shuno! Washington wins!
To win games in playoff overtimes, where so many times before they had received a kick in the gut. All of a sudden, they're winning those games.
Here's Bellows, he shoots! He scores! Washington wins! The Caps win the series!
It just took the weight of the world off our shoulders.
The Washington Capitals have exhorted the demons. They're gone.
Got through the first round, and then, a couple of the top teams dropped, and all of a sudden we were like, we're not far away from going all the way here.
We find out that we're gonna play Ottawa. Their goalie, Ron Tugnut, had a great first round. We knew that we're gonna face a hot goalie.
Game 3, I think I gave up 4.
The Ottawa blue line. Down the deflection! Sneak it in.
I just said, okay, they won that game. They got to win 4. I didn't want to give them anything.
Kolzig's got it.
It was just one of those runs where you're just so dialed in.
Stop by Kolzig. Rebound!
It was a lot of fun.
Catherine Campa laid back. The Ottawa series was one breathtaking save after another.
Holy, the goalie. What an effort in net.
He was so good.
Stop by Kolzig. Rebound!
I remember one night, it was in Ottawa. He stopped 53 shots,
A sparkling save.
and we shot 11.
Great save.
They were in our end the whole goddamn night. Poor Ole must have lost 20 pounds that night.
Loads it up. That stop by Kolzig. Ole was cleaned out.
He was by far the #1 reason, in my humble opinion, as to why the Caps reached the levels that they did.
Hey, how about celebrating right now? Get your reservations ready in Buffalo. And there's a guy having a terrific postseason.
season. Olaf Kolzig, a guy that the Ottawa Senators could not figure out.
You know, going into that next series in Buffalo, there was this up-and-coming, young, fiery Godzilla against, you know, the established #1 NHL goalie, the Dominator.
The team, the franchise, you know, never got to the final before. And you know that you have to beat one of the best in the world, if not the best.
As the lights come up here at the MCI Center, we get set for game 1.
Going into the Buffalo series, Dominik Hasek had become so dominant in that position that he was given the nickname the Dominator, which was, I thought, was an unbelievable nickname.
The Dominator against Godzilla. That's what this one stacks up to be.
It was a great series. I mean, there was some unbelievable highlight saves that Dom made.
Dominik Hasek is on here in this game.
I remember the one on Otzi, I think, where he flips his blocker over on his back.
Here's Oates. Drops for Gottschalk. Sergei Gottschalk. Oh, shot. What a save! Holy jumping! Unbelievable play!
You have Hasek on one side, but Ole, who was just on top of his game on our side.
That is a tough save.
And, you know, Ole had to outplay the best.
Down by Alexei Zhitnik. Short-handed. That one deflected just wide of the net.
We split at home, and I think we take 2 in Buffalo.
Dominik Hasek, I'm sure, would want this one back.
In Game 6, we were in overtime.
Should be great as we get set for overtime again.
I remember in the locker room like it was yesterday. Ron Wilson, he made a reference to the Caps making it to the finals. He was comparing to when the Americans went on the moon. So then we're on our way to the ice. Well, it just came like this, and I said, hey, I'm gonna be Neil Armstrong. Out of the blue. He ended up making a play in the neutral zone.
And in retreat, look out!
And dishing it on the outside to Brian Bellows.
Juno finds Bellows.
Who had some speed. It's funny to say that Brian Bellows had some speed, but he did that one time for sure. And he just drove the net.
Here's Bellows sweeping in.
Joey was a real smart player, and he saw what was happening, and he said, if I go hard to the net here, that puck might be laying there. And it was.
Hasek down! Loose hook and goal! Joey Juno scores the goal! And the Capitals are headed to the Stanley Cup Final!
After the game, Dominik Hasek came over to me and he goes, were you trying to get up with the puck, you know? It was a fraction of a second, you know? The puck is there and I'm like, I'm just gonna push it. And him, you know, when he stretched, he was like, oh, he's gonna try to go up. And that was his mistake.
Boy, when you see that go in, you go into the Stanley Cup Final, there aren't many moments that are better until you win it.
Godzilla comes out the best of it in the matchup against the Dominator.
Hey, Neil Armstrong! He said it!
I remember after we won the Eastern Conference Finals in Buffalo, coming back and all the fans at Piney Orchard like lining the road.
We came like 2 o'clock in the morning and there were like so many people there. It was like, wow, Washington wasn't like the hockey city then, but you know, that's, I think, it started.
It's unbelievable. I can't really say how I feel. It's just, you can hear it. It's unbelievable.
It's just one of those things you don't forget. I mean, when you see the excitement in our fan base and everything, just to finally, you know, reach the Stanley Cup Final that, you know, we've been trying for, well, it's really fun.
Just unbelievable. Great feeling for myself, the team, the fans. The dream this is going this far as a kid, and this is it. This is it.
It was just a non-stop rally for about an hour. You know, I don't think we got to bed till 4 or 5. We didn't know at the time, but that was probably the highlight of that run.
We got to the finals against Detroit. They were an elite team.
You're watching the 1998 Stanley Cup Final. Here we go.
First game in Detroit in the finals, like, wow, this is something. I still remember the feeling when I scored a goal in the finals.
Here is Nikolic, sends it up. Setnik with a chance. Scores! He has put the Capitals on the board.
And I thought, okay, this is good. I can get used to it.
And what a big goal that is for the Washington Capitals.
I went to game 2 in Detroit.
Ready to go here in game 2.
The Esa game where, it felt like we had the thing won, and then Detroit makes a push, and then Tikkanen gets a breakaway, makes this unbelievable move. And somehow the puck doesn't go in. It just felt like right there, it's like I think our luck might have just run out.
He will never use that stick again.
We had a hard time against Detroit. They had 4 lines who could score goals.
Then we lost the series 4-0.
The Detroit Red Wings have won the Stanley Cup for the 2nd year in a row.
Which makes it sound like it was one-sided, but it really wasn't. Other than game 4, all 3 games were winnable for us, and it just didn't go our way.
We came up a little bit short, but I think we did a mark for hockey here. I think that's start building, from there.
We lost the series, but that was quite a thrill to have the Caps in the Stanley Cup Finals and see what we could do.